And yes, we're back at it again with another feature card Buddy Fight deck profile. This time, well, I'm not going to say what it is this time though, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and enter the Patreon. And let's get started. I am sorry that I have been gone for a while. There have been a lot of things I need to catch up on and do, but now I'm back in the game, so let's go ahead and get started. The deck is Astrodragon, Star Dragon World. I finally got my Buddy Mark customizations yesterday, and I had to get all my deck set up. So now you guys are going to get some deck profiles. So the first one is Star Dragon World. My buddy is still Skyseer, Ardent Dragon, Cross for Nisi Astrologia, because it's Astro Dragon build. If you don't remember what Cross does, he has 6k power, 6k defense, a critical of 2. He costs 2 gauge, and you have to put the top card of his deck into the top card of your deck into its soul to call it. And then his Galaxy his Galaxy F was the first one ever to have abilities that activate on the left and right. So his Galaxy F formations is, if you have Astro Dragon on your right, all your cards get plus 5k power and penetrate. It's the aggressive Galaxy formation. If you have an Astro Dragon on your left, all cards on your opponent's field lose 5k power. So it's the defensive Galaxy formation. And the one that activates as long as you have an item equipped. If you have an Astro Dragon item equipped, all your cards cannot be rest, and all of them get plus 3k defense. So, well, your cards can't be rested by your opponent's card effects, and they get plus 3k defense. So an extra defender, and it prevents your opponent from stopping your attacks. But it only works as long as Cross is in the center, but that should work normally since you will call it to center. He has double attack and soul guard. He's for buddy monster. 2 copies of 4 Jers, since we have no size 0s, but we have size 1s. 4k power, 3k defense, critical of 1. Pay a gauge when it enters the field. Put to 1 Astro Dragon item from your deck into your hand. I run only 1 item, so basically plus this is equal to 6. I had some trouble cutting some stuff out for other cards, so Borger had to be the one to suffer, but I think I'm okay with only having technically 6 items in my deck. Next up is 4 copies of Searflight Dragon Palette. 5k power, 1k defense, critical of 2. Pay a gauge, put the top card deck into your soul. When he enters the field, you may put 1 monster from your drop zone to the soul of an Astro Dragon monster on your field. It has soul guard. So it's useful. You can put it into his soul, you can put it into Cross soul so it lasts longer. Basically, you can do whatever. Even though I lost the game, I played against Lost World, I played against Drametal, and even though I did lose, this thing did help me stall out for exactly 2 more turns because of this thing, and well, because of its ability and because of a spell. 4 copies of Govern Star Dragon Fret. He's the guy here for the gauge, and officially the only card in my deck that charges gauge now. 3k power, 1k defense, critical of 1. When this card enters the field, you charge. If you have another Astro Dragon on your field, you charge 2 gauge, you draw 1 card. So I have actually tested this deck. I have not drawn Fret at all. In fact, I only played 1 game, and that was with the Drametal. Drametal won both games, but this deck did end up getting some aggressive turns out. And gauge is not as much as a problem as I thought it would be, but it still is a problem, just not that big of one for some reason. 4 copies of Searflight Dragon Bari. 6k power, 1k defense, critical of 1. Pay gauge, put the top card of your deck into its soul. Once card enters the field, deal 1 damage to your opponent, and then if it's on the right, it gets plus 3 crit, and it has soul guard. So that's useful. If it's on the right, Galaxy Formation right has a size 1 with 11k power, penetrate, and 4 critical. Or if it's on the left, your opponent just took 1 damage, and all their cards lose 5k power. So, yeah, it's useful on both left and right. Fuck yeah, the only thing missing from that thing is text saying, when it attacks, if it's on the right, its attack can't be nullified. Then I would be fucking happy, and I would be crying right now. Now into our size 2, since that was our last size 1. Shining Cross Astrologia. You all know he does 5k power, 4k defense, critical of 2. He's a promo. Pay a gauge, top card into a soul. Galaxy F, when you have an Astro Dragon on your left and on your... When a card on your field attacks, if you have an Astro Dragon on your center, left, and an item equipped, you gain a life point. And it has double attack and soul guard. So it can be helpful for life regaining and all that good stuff. Also, it's like a quicker cost for Cross. 4 copies is obviously my buddy. Those are our only size 2s. Now on to our size 3 and our only size 3 and our last monster. Govern Star Dragon Dexter Albus. 7k power, 6k defense, critical of 2. Pay 2 gauge and put the top card of your deck into its soul. If you have another size 2 or greater Astro Dragon on your field, this card's size is reduced by 2, so it basically becomes a size 1. And then counteract, put this card on your field into an open area on your field. You gain 2 life, but you can only use effect once per turn. Double attack and soul guard. So it can be used, like say this thing was on the right and you had to cross in your center. If you were going aggressively, but then at the end of your turn you go Final phase, move this to my left, and then I gain 2 life. And if you have the impact, that'd be useful. Or it can just be his defense. It's useful, especially since I don't have the spell Convertible Tactics, which lets you move monsters. So he's useful. Now into our spells. 3 copies of Sentence Battle Preparations. Battle Preparations. I can't talk today. Set. Abilities of all of your Astral Dragons cannot be nullified by your opponent's card effects. When an Astral Dragon monster on your field, when an Astral Dragon monster enters your field, you may gain a life and draw a card once per turn effect, and you can only set 1 on your field. But that is useful. It gives you life, it gives you hand cards, and it basically makes so that your opponent can't touch your Astral Dragon's effects. 4 copies of Sphere Force. You may only cast a card during attacking the opponent's turn, and if you have 2 or more Astral Dragons on your field. Counter. Nullify the attack and put up to 1 card from your drop zone to the soul of an Astral Dragon monster on your field. So it can be made to keep Cross alive longer or your center longer. This also helped keep me alive longer for 1 more turn. So yeah, it basically stalls out the game longer, and it's like 2 nulls in 1 because it gives something else a soul in your center most likely, and it nullifies the attack, and then the soul guard obviously. So yeah, just all around good things. Now, one of the cards that 1 helped me survive last turn, 2 can search Fret, and 3 is a part of a really neat aggressive combo that I can play, and a defensive combo as well. So the first part is the next card, but here's where it comes in. Notify, Missing Mission. You may only cast this when a monster on your field is destroyed. Call up to 1 Astral Dragon size 1 or less. Call up to 1 size 1 or less Astral Dragon from your drop zone from your deck by paying its call cost. You can use as many times as you want per turn. That is useful. For example, say when my monster was destroyed, I called Pellet from my deck, so I could get Soul and then another Soul, and then I could just defend myself. Or if I want to call Brett, I can just charge 2 gauge and then draw 1, so I can basically get gauge during my opponent's turn. And then the other card that is the enabler for the aggressive play, because without this, the aggressive play can't exist. Cecilization. Pay a life to use, counter and choose one of the following 2. You may only cast a card once per turn. Either call up to 1 Astral Dragon monster from your hand by paying its call cost, or return a monster in the opponent's field to your hand. So this one can counter Dremetal Oppressed, because you can just bounce the card in the oppressed area back to the hand, which makes it useless. Or the combo I'm talking about, like say you had Farnus, Dexter, and like in the item equipped, you go attack with the item, attack with Dexter, double attack with Farnus, double attack, and then your battle's over, but your opponent's still alive. You go cast Cecilization, call Cross from my hand, then cast Missing Mission, call Fret, charge to my left, charge 2 gauge, draw a card, battle, Cross attacks for 2, a double attack for 2. Fret attacks for 1. Final phase. Tri-star decision. It can be useful, and it can just get off combos really nicely. Or it can just be used in any way to get me to make attacks with, if I wanted to, and then cast a spell. 4 copies of Notify, Skyseer Pulse, my most important spell in this deck. Counter, choose one of the following 2. What I like is originally in my old build, my Astral Dragon deck had a problem of having only monsters that work on the left and cards that only work on the left besides Cross, but this actually works with both left and right, so I love this. And my new deck also does work with left and right. So, counter. If you have an Astral Dragon on your left, rest a monster on the opponent's foot and you gain 2 life. So it can rest something and give you 2 life, so it's kind of like 2 nulls in 1 since most attacks are only 2 crit anyways. And then, if you have an Astral Dragon on your right, stand an Astral Dragon on your field and burn your opponent 1. So if they're at 1 life, fuck them. Or if they're at 3 life, restand, burn, and then kill. Which is useful, because the only card in this deck that only has 1 crit, there are 2 cards, Fret and Borger, and technically, yes, Barry, but he can get more crit. So yeah, it's a useful spell. It can be used for many different situations. 4 copies. Now, that was our last spell. Now onto our item. 4 copies of Searbow Babylon. Now, I tagged this in after my original deck profile with Runestones, because I felt like this would be more useful, and I can just go over Dexter and then keep attacking with this, or just go for full power attack with this thing. So, if you guys don't know what this does, it's 6k power, 2 crit, pay a gauge to equip it. When it attacks, if you have an Astral Dragon it can attack you if you have an Astral Dragon on your center. And then when it attacks, if you have the other part of Galaxy Formation original active, aka you have a monster on your left and a monster on your center, they both have to be Astral Dragons, then this card gets double attack. So, it's useful and it can be used for multi-attack. And then, the impact that I'm going to replace, the second the new impact drops from Drago Knight, and if you don't know what that impact does, is it gets 1 less gauge cost for each Astral Dragon on your field, and it does 4 damage. so that can't be reduced, which is better than the one I'm about to show you. So 4 copies of our Tri-Star Decision Impact. You may only cast this card if your opponent's at 5 life or less. You have an Astrodragon on your center and left, and you have an Astrodragon item equipped. So if you have full-on Galaxy formation, pay 3 gauge, deal 5 damage. Yes, it can be reduced. Yes, it can be nullified. What I like about Self-Sphere Decision, the new impact that's coming out soon, more is that 1, the damage cannot be reduced. So the only way they're gonna do it is they have like an impact nullifier like Vanity Cell or something like that, or a revival card. 1, even though it costs 4 gauge instead of 3, its gauge cost can be reduced for each card on your field, for each Astrodragon on your field, and it only works if your opponent's at 4 life or less, but it's still better than this, so yeah. Well, that was the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I'm sorry for being gone so long, but you're about to get another deck profile soon with one of my other decks. So I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. And I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to raise your flag. Can you pull a buddy rare card?